Welcome home. In this podcast, we venture into what it means to be a leader in this new world. Human, flawed but working on things, and forever changed by using our intuition to guide us. I'm Adalina East, founder of Transformational Healing and mentor to those running soul-based businesses. Join me to receive transformational healing, tips to dive more deeply into your unique spiritual gifts, and to hear great conversations with other entrepreneurs in spirit. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Cosmic Leadership Podcast. I'm so happy to be back with you again. I'm your host, Adalina East, EMDR therapist. I also use transformational healing, my modality, internal family systems, and somatic experiencing to help you release your trauma and lead you towards the life that you deserve. I'm so excited to be back with you today because we have a mini transformational healing session on attachment wounding. More about this in a minute. I also just want to ask you all to please head over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. I'm doing a giveaway in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks' time, I will be back here on the podcast to announce the winner of a free session with me. The way to enter this giveaway is to write a review of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. You can give us 5 stars. You can write a little note about what's helped you about the podcast so far. I would so appreciate it. Every time you leave a review, it helps more people find the podcast, which is what allows me to continue doing this. So if you're enjoying this no-cost addition to your life, if you're enjoying the healing that you find here, if you're enjoying the guests, please head over to Apple Podcasts and write your review. If you have Instagram, take a little screenshot, send me a DM of that screenshot on Adalina East there, Adalina East. If you don't have Instagram, you will still be entered into the giveaway. So please still leave your review. We will look through them all every week and we will pick a winner in 2 weeks' time. I will be back here on the podcast to announce that winner to you. Thank you, as always, for making this a top 50 podcast on Good Pods. I so appreciate you. I really enjoy this time together each week. So let's get into the episode. Today, we are going to do transformational healing for attachment wounding. Let's first talk about what attachment styles are. This was a concept for many years, but it has recently gotten a little boost through the algorithm on Instagram. Everyone seems to be talking about attachment styles. You can be one of, I would say, 3 or even 4 flexibly attachment styles. So the first would be called secure attachment. That is when you were raised in a household with parents who loved you very obviously, who created a safe space for you, who found you to be just the most delightful child. And I know that this is very few of us, right? If you found this podcast, probably that was not your experience of growing up. However, it does not mean that you cannot get there now. We all can heal. I feel we all have the responsibility to take what happened to us throughout life and to find ways to heal that in ourselves. I don't think anyone can just say, it's all my parents' fault. Good night. Doesn't work that way, right? That's a really great way to be miserable for the rest of your life. So if you don't have secure attachment, as many of us don't, let's move on to the other types of attachment. Secure attachment, by the way, looks like your partner may come to you with a criticism and you receive it very calmly, very easily. There's no defensiveness. You don't fight about it. You just say, yes, I see your point. I will work on that, or something along those lines. And again, we can get there even if we weren't securely attached as children. Secure attachment can also look like a really peaceful and calm and simple type of relationship. If this is not you, again, you can get there. Secure attachment can also look like having the kind of relationship that allows you to be yourself and to change as you change with life, with circumstance, with various things that happen in your lives together. Again, if that's not you yet, you can get there. The other types of attachment would be anxious attachment. This is when your attachment to other people is characterized through your anxiety. So let's say you're in a relationship with someone, they've been very communicative, and suddenly you don't hear from them for 8 to 10 hours. You are feeling that panicky feeling in your chest. Maybe you start worrying about them. You're not sure if they're laying in a hospital bed somewhere or if they just are not into you anymore. This can cause anxiety. This is an example of anxious attachment. Another example of anxious attachment would be your partner is out of town for a weekend. They've never cheated on you. You have no reason to assume that they would, but yet that's where your mind goes. And you spend the weekend talking about it, thinking about it, planning out different scenarios. Or perhaps another example of anxious attachment would be that your partner lets you know that they would like to talk to you about something important. You immediately jump to, uh-oh, what did I do wrong? Are we going to end things tonight? And perhaps they just want to tell you about a promotion that they got at work. So anxious attachment is more characterized by the feelings of anxiety when you are attached to someone. This can also manifest and look different for different people. So if you're not hearing yourself in any of these examples, but you have anxious attachment and you're sure that you have anxious attachment, that's okay. It's a podcast. I cannot diagnose here. I'm happy to do so if you want to book a session with me. You can do so through the links below. Next, let's talk about avoidant attachment. This looks like in a relationship, the other person is telling you how they feel about you. Perhaps they're having a full heart-to-heart with you about how wonderful you are. When you're hearing all of those wonderful things about you, you're wanting to back away. You like this person. They're good for you, but yet it's just making you so anxious that you feel like you have to run. Another example of avoidant attachment would be planning a trip with your love, knowing that trip is going to be so much fun, getting so excited about the trip. And then you start the trip and you immediately start pushing that person away. You see yourself doing it. You're not sure why you're doing it because you really like the person, but you just cannot stop yourself. Another example of avoidant attachment would be somebody that you really is paying attention to you and you're excited about that and that feels good to you. And so you immediately start being rude to them or pushing them away or talking to someone else that you're less interested in. You may see yourself doing it. You may not see yourself doing it. And again, it's okay if this is you. We can get to secure attachment. These are things that can be healed. The most popular, I feel, attachment style that I've seen in my practice is what's called mixed attachment style. So there are a few different phrases for this. Whatever phrase you want to use is absolutely fine. But mixed attachment style is when you sometimes are anxious and sometimes are avoidant in your attachment. So what this can look like is, let's go back to that example of being on a trip with someone that you really like. You're on that trip. They're telling you how wonderful you are. You're feeling that urge to get up and walk away and kind of freaking out about it. That's your avoidant type. Then later in the day, that person has been seeing those signals from you and is saying to themselves, oh, maybe I should give that person space. Maybe they just need a little space. It's a lot of time together. After all, we've never spent so much time together. That person goes for a walk on the beach by themselves. You're immediately worried, immediately scared that they're going to meet someone else. Perhaps they're not that into you. All of those more anxious type feelings. And so I think a lot of us have mixed attachment style. I don't think that there are actually that many people who have just one or the other. I'm very grateful for those who have secure attachment style. I think it's incredible. Go you. If you've been working on your attachment style and you're finding yourself moving away from mixed or anxious or avoidant attachment style and towards secure attachment, that is awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Way to go. I give you all of my encouragement. That is what we are going to work towards here today, right after the break. I am so delighted to share with you that I am opening back up my multidimensional mentorship program. We have seen graduates go on to start their own businesses with their intuitive gifts, such as channeling, healing, tarot card reading, astrology, human design,
chefs, also so many other beautiful professions that are healing the world and making it into the better place where we all want to be. If you are struggling, if you're trying to figure out what your life purpose is, check out my multidimensional mentorship program. I am so excited to work with people who are ready for change, who are ready to dive into their intuitive gifts and see exactly what they're ready to do here on this planet at this time. We will put the link below, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Let's move into the healing part of this podcast today. Transformational healing, my modality, works with the inner neurons of your brain. So what we are working towards is pruning away those old neurons that are keeping you stuck in patterns of either anxious, avoidant, or mixed attachment styles. And we want to create new neural pathways in our brains that prime us for secure attachment. So, as with all of my processes, I believe that neuroscience works best when you repeat things. And this is actually not my belief. This is proven in literature. So, if you find today's transformational healing process helpful for you, use it again. There's no limit to how many times you can use it. When I'm working with my clients one-on-one and I give them a transformational healing process that's tailored for them and what they're going through, I always ask them to use it 5 to 7 more times at home. They receive a recording of our session together, and then they use that recording at least 5 to 7 more times at home. Sometimes I'll hear they need a little more, a little less. It really depends on the individual. But for you all, because I can't talk to you one-on-one, I only can communicate with you this way. Try to use this transformational healing session today at least another 5 to 7 more times to help you heal your anxious, avoidant, or mixed attachment style. If you are already a securely attached person, again, congratulations, way to go. You can still use this to keep beefing yourself up, keep reminding yourself that you are worthy of being securely attached and that you are able to stay securely attached to those in your life. As always, attachment styles is not just about romantic relationships. It's about all of our relationships. So there's something for everyone in this transformational healing session today. So first, I'm going to ask you to either sit down comfortably or lie down, whatever feels better for you today. I'm going to take you through a meditation, and then we're going to start the healing process. Once we start that process, you will be asked to do various things, create different hand motions that line up with certain parts of your brain. We work mostly with the limbic brain. And that's because that's where our memories are stored. And that's where we have the communication in our brain between our memories and our emotions. And so we're working with that part of the brain today. So just sit comfortably and take some deep breaths. We're going to do a breathwork practice together. I'm going to ask you to breathe in for 4 counts and breathe out for 6 counts. When we breathe out for longer than we breathe in, this allows the brain and body to start to relax. So again, this is not for you if you're driving. Definitely pull over. And just allow your eyes to float closed and breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just let your breath return to normal. Keep breathing throughout this whole activation. And now imagine yourself in your very favorite place in nature. Imagine yourself barefoot there. This can be a beach or a forest or a hike, something that you love, a place you love. And as you imagine yourself barefoot there, imagine yourself grounding your feet into that place, grounding your feet into the dirt or sand or whatever you have there. Feel that in between your toes. Really make that a full sensory experience. And then pull that feeling up your feet, up your legs, and all the way up through your chakra system. If you have no idea where your chakras are, don't worry about it. It's happening anyway. And keep pulling that feeling all the way up through your body. If there's sunshine in this place, feel the sunshine on your skin. If there's a gentle breeze, feel the gentle breeze there. And just take in the relaxation of that place. Really feel it. And then bring your mind, body, and spirit up through the sky, up through the clouds, up through the different layers of the universe, the reds and oranges, yellows, greens, blues, pinks, and purples, and keep moving all the way up until you see this beautiful iridescent light above you. Move all the way up towards that light and take a deep breath in here and a deep breath out. Feel your body weightless here. Imagine that feeling of being weightless. And up in this place of all of that iridescent light, imagine yourself lying down on a cloud or on a beam of light, something that feels really supportive and really calming. And as you continue to breathe here, we welcome in all of our guides and source energy, guides throughout all time. And now, with all of their support and with my support, with each other's support, I want you to bring to mind the ideal moment for you in a relationship. So imagine what that would look like. Imagine that feeling of intense support, deep support from a partner. And you don't have to be able to see the partner's face. I know sometimes these things can be faceless, but just imagine their presence there with you. And imagine feeling so completely supported and loved and cared for in the way that feels good to you. And this will be different for every person. But imagine them supporting you. And you can create a whole story around this. That's what we want to do. We want to create a whole new memory that we're going to consolidate using our limbic brain today and all of these different techniques. And so this could even be something from your current relationship, a past relationship, or this could be something that you create that is totally new for you. Imagine a scenario in which your partner rushes in and completely supports you. If you're not in a partnership place, of course, this is okay. You can imagine it with a partner, or you can imagine it with a friend or a family member. If you want to work specifically on your attachment with that friend or family member, this is a great place to go. And so just imagine that friend or family member supporting you in the way that you want to be supported, loving you and showing you that the two of you are securely attached in whatever way makes sense for you. And just keep breathing here, taking deep breaths in and out. And as you continue to imagine this, imagine what this feels like in your mind, body, and spirit. So take in all of the different visuals and sounds associated with this. Maybe you can hear their voice. You can see them. If there are any smells or tastes associated with this secure attachment moment, take those in as well. And really get into the feeling of this. The intensity of the feeling is part of what creates those new neural pathways. So feel those feelings of secure attachment. And if you've never had them, that's okay. Imagine what they would feel like. Imagine that joy, that freedom. And as you continue to imagine this new scenario, create this secure attachment scenario, I'm going to ask you to put your first finger together with your thumb on both hands. If you're a yogi, this is Gyan Mudra. And just keep your hands in this position for the next few minutes. We're going to use our voices together. It's called polyvagal toning. If you're not familiar with it, don't worry. You can always Google it later. You can look it up on my website. We're going to use our voices to create these new neural pathways. If you can't match my pitch exactly, it absolutely doesn't matter. If you're totally out of tune, it absolutely doesn't matter. Okay? And just hum the same tones that I do. Because of this recording device, my voice sometimes floats in and out. Just keep humming that same tone until you hear another one. Relax your hands. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. A deep breath in and a deep breath out and a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And just start to slowly come out of this place of iridescent light. Softly and gently imagine your mind, body, and spirit floating down, back down to this beautiful place, your very favorite place in nature. Imagine yourself moving down through the clouds, through the stars, through all of the different colors, and plant your feet back in your very favorite place in nature, whatever that looks like for you. And remember, you're barefoot here. So you're feeling the dirt or the sand or whatever there is there in between your toes. Just imagine that there are roots dropping out of your feet and connecting you into the center of the earth, really grounding you here so that you feel fully back. And then softly and gently open your eyes and just move around a bit. Start to bring some life back into your body. You can shake out your arms, shake out your legs, whatever you need to do to bring yourself back into the present moment. I always recommend that people do something that's really grounding. Go into the kitchen and make a cup of tea, or if the weather is good where you are, you can step outside, put your feet down on the ground, whether you have shoes on or not. Do something to remind you that you are here in human form before you start driving or doing anything else. It's been my honor to be with all of you again today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Again, remember to join the giveaway for a free session with me. Go to Apple Podcasts, write up your review. We will be checking them. We will be looking at them and thanking you for them. And in another 2 weeks' time, we will be choosing the winner. So please do head over there and write us a great review. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Happy healing.
Thank you so much for listening to these important conversations about cosmic leadership and the changing needs of our times. If you enjoyed this conversation, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also share it with a friend. Join our crew at Adalina East on Instagram or at Adalina East Healing on Facebook. With all the love from every dimension, Adalina.